Yeah, let's go. Shout out the mountain and fish. I got Iggy and Woods doing right for the culture. If you just here for the views and the likes and just put on the mic, you a vulture. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch did it. They let me down, but the raps did it. They let me down, but the switch did it.
This is your boy Iggy.
It's your boy Woods.
You are now tuned into another episode of Hip Hop Who's Podcast. Guys, continue to keep running up those subs.
Run it up, man. Run it
The
up.
goal to 4,000 subscribers is on the way.
We almost there.
Yes. Continue to keep liking the video, sharing, commenting, all that good stuff.
That's that notification button, man.
Yes.
You already know what it is.
Yeah, we got a shout out Title League.
Title League, man.
Distant cousins.
baby.
We're in the
know how that
building.
goes, man. Android, you got emojis because
They're
of
back.
me. I know you
They're
did,
back,
but it's okay.
Cut a check.
Come on.
But yo, listen, we got a special guest in the building today.
Triple OG.
Yes. He's an American, guys. He's an American.
That can hoop.
Yes.
Been hooping.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We got Will Strickland in the building, everybody.
Legendary.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Strickland,
Long overdue.
welcome.
Appreciate it. It's been a minute. I feel special. You guys told me this is the first time you had a guest in the new studio.
Yes.
Studio, yes.
I guess, feels not Happy Meal special, maybe. And I can't say short YOLO special,
No.
so I'm not going to say that. I feel special.
There you go.
So let's be special.
Still,
Yeah.
I feel a special episode.
No, this is amazing. We've been having this conversation about you coming out for a while.
So
So,
a minute.
we made sure when the time was right, you were number one.
Here we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Love it.
But we want to just tell we know who you are, but for our audience who may not know, I'm sure they know as well. But tell them a bit about yourself, man.
I am a guy who loves life. I've lived my life through the things I'm passionate about: basketball, sneak culture, hip hop culture, people who look like me. Nothing against anybody else, but everything I've ever done, especially here in Canada, as I'm known as the American Canadian. I trademarked that. I will sue. That I just like working with people who look like me, whether it's podcasts, whether it be TV shows or radio shows. Nothing against anyone else. It's just like, I want to see people who look like me doing the things I'm doing. So I salute you guys for doing what you do. It's not, people say, is it about race? No, it's about being, all right, it is about race. I'm proud of me. I'm proud of mine. Nothing against anybody else. I'm just talking about me and mine. This turns into an internet argument, as I call the rough interweb streets, where I say, I love waffles. Dog, how you disrespect pancakes? I didn't say nothing about pancakes. I'm talking about waffles. I'm talking about my waffles. That's it. So, guy who played professional basketball, tried out for 2 NBA teams, the San Antonio Spurs in 1993, and the Toronto Raptors in 1995. Played overseas in Caracas, Venezuela, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Brest and Marseille in France, finished up in Barcelona. Now currently running the world's most unique basketball tournament, Full Court 21. It's not 1-on-1, not 2-on-2, not 3-on-3, not 4-on-4, not 5-on-5. It's the world's only application of 1-on-5 basketball. It's where you started playing basketball. You guys call it American.
Call it American.
Yeah.
And we played half court.
Yeah.
We played full court with referees. And when you win thousands of dollars worth of prizes, and I take you to New York City to play in the all-world finals. We won 5 straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Won 5 straight in New York. So Canadians, now I'm an honorary Canadian. You guys made me a Toronto man. Just so you know. And so I'm here and just trying to contribute to the culture of basketball overall and the culture of us, period. Because we are the culture that creates everything cool.
Right. Have you enjoyed watching the evolution of basketball in this city
100%.
since you've been here?
100%. When I first came here, you didn't see, there were a bunch of athletes. There were great athletes in the city.
Right.
And there are a lot of people, when I talk about basketball, who play basketball but don't know how to play the game. And so with the drafting, or I guess trade for Vincent Lamar Carter, that changed everything. As you guys know, you're products of Vincent Lamar Carter.
Greatest rapper of all time. Let's get it.
Listen, if you want to get it, okay, let's get it. He is the greatest rapper of all time. No Vincent Lamar Carter, no Toronto Raptors in Toronto in 2024, 2025. Period. They end up in Las Vegas or Louisville, somewhere like that. Just like Vancouver.
Like Vancouver.
Vancouver, right?
So again, because fans, and it's funny, Canadians invented the damn game.
That's what I'm saying. Shout
So
out
why
to
not
James.
embrace it like that?
Right.
But to see his impact on the Corey Josephs and Tristan Thompsons and Andrew Wiggins, I can name a million players from here. And now you see that Canada now has its own professional basketball league. A lot of that is attributed to how people embraced Vince when he first got it. And so whatever you feel about it, make peace with it now. No matter how he left, make peace with it. Because
He hasn't
the
made
Raptors have made peace with it.
I've made peace with it.
No, you haven't. You haven't.
Well, what was your thoughts? Let's bring it back when we made it to the Eastern semifinals, right? Game 7, Vince versus AI going at it. Legendary series. Legendary series. Game 7 in Philly. Vince decides to go receive his degree for African studies. Not just in African studies. I love African people. I love it. You know what I mean? But he went to go receive a degree on stage in North Carolina, maybe just to make his mom feel good about it, so be it. Game 7, right? Gets his degree for African studies, economics, law. I'm crazy, right? Comes back.
Kids, get your education.
I'm not saying get your education for sure.
Go on stage.
Comes back.
Beautiful.
And look how the basketball gods work. Gives him the final shot. And then look how the basketball works even more. It went in and out. So just imagine if he didn't go to North Carolina on that private jet to receive that.
Yeah. He didn't go on coach
To receive that degree for
know.
African studies.
So hold
up. If he was in the gym a little bit more, he maybe would have hit it. Because I heard him say it himself. He hit that shot like 8 out of 10 times religiously. That was his shot. But because he was sidetracked, he could have got that. He could have got that degree mailed to him in the 6. Could have brought everybody to the 6. He's the man. He's the person that kind of created the nightlife for the 6. Made it poppin'.
Okay. Well,
anyway.
we're gonna get into the first topic of today's show because it is Vince Carter. So he's getting his jersey retired when in November.
November 2nd.
November 2nd. Okay. So to finish off what he was talking that nonsense, Vince Carter got his graduation, or he went to his graduation in the morning. He took a private jet to Philadelphia, way ahead of schedule. It's not like he just took a flight from North Carolina and got to Philadelphia an hour before the game and was running in the change room. Like, guys, I'm here. No. He got plenty of time. He was there hours and hours and hours and hours before the game. So that's nonsense. So let's just throw that out of the way. Kids, go to your graduation, go on stage, get your diploma, no matter what. You'll never forget that memory. My daughter's going to go there and she's going to get her degree. I'm going to be there, front row cheering. Kids, go. Okay, we're done with that. Vince Carter getting, I was going to say graduation. Vince Carter getting his jersey retired. This is the Toronto Raptors' first jersey in the Raptors. What is you guys' thoughts? We'll go with you first.
I love it. It's absolutely essential, as I said before. No Vince and Lamar Carter, no Toronto Raptors in Toronto in 2024, 25. I don't believe that. I think the support he created around the electricity of his game, you see this guy catching alley-oops. The stuff he was doing back then was the noodles. It didn't make sense. And to see someone so athletically gifted, right, who could also shoot the ball. He wasn't just a guy who could jump. He could play the game. And people say he saved some Valentine and testicular fortitude. Maybe he wins the championship. He's playing with his cousin. His cousin won a state. Imagine that squad. If they had empowered Tracy Lamar McGrady Jr. and Vince Carter together in a way that spoke to their talents. Maybe we're having a different conversation. Maybe we're not talking about Kyle Lowry. And we can do a bunch of these suppositions all day. Right. But the bottom line is this. Toronto Raptors do not reach the heights of passion in this country, and especially in the city, without Vince Carter doing it. no disrespect to Damon Stoudemire and Marcus Camby, you know, shout to the AC Earl. Nobody's going,
Yeah,
man.
he gave 50
Come on,
to
stop.
Boston. Remember that, man.
Come on,
Come
man.
on,
Like,
AC Earl. Shout out AC Earl,
at
man.
the end of the day, it's all Vince all the time. So salute to Masai Ujiri, the front office of the
Making that
Raptors,
happen. Finally.
for making peace with the facts of the matter, that you cannot rewrite history and that he is essential. He is the building block. He is this cornerstone in Toronto Raptors franchise.
And no disrespect, like I seen so many guys run through that number 15 since Vince left.
Oh, you got to bring up some Jorge Barbosa numbers?
Come on, man. I ain't dissing.
Amir
I ain't
Johnson.
dissing. You
Come
know what I
on,
mean?
man.
And I got love for everybody. I got love for everybody that was rocking number 15.
Your boy was rocking the 15.
Shout out AB too. You know what I
Anthony
mean?
Bennett.
Anthony Bennett too. Shout out the man.
He had,
Finch finest right there.
Wow, there's some guys, I don't even know these guys. Amir Johnson was probably the most notable player that had this jersey.
I still have a pair of Jorge Barbosa sneakers.
I don't even know how he even got into that.
Yeah, Adidas.
At some point, I think they're having private workouts somewhere in the private.
Barbosa was nice in
Dissing
Spain.
Barbosa, man.
Barbosa was trash.
You know what? Crazy thing? I can still hear that snap. Remember in Boston when he snapped his foot?
Oh,
I can still hear it to this day. I was traumatized. Like I can
I
still.
don't even remember that. That's crazy. But are you a true Raptors fan?
Come on, man.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm watching all those games, and I'm thinking we were gonna win that game too. Garbo was playing nice too before he
Don't
snapped
do
that.
this like he was.
He'd have me just go in this game.
Look,
Right?
stop, man.
You shoot wide open shots,
Okay,
grab
he'll hit him.
No wrinkles in his
head
game.
No
above
wrinkles,
somebody,
man.
and we
IQ.
keep him moving. Stop.
IQ was on 100.
Listen, Vincent Lamar Carter. This is only right, and I'm glad they did it before New Jersey
Yes, thank you.
because it's only right.
I think
He
it's
is the
sucker
greatest
sauce,
Raptor.
though. I think it's sucker sauce. They waited
Yes,
until after Brooklyn
Yes.
said they were going to do
I
it.
know.
yeah,
Brooklyn, there's some gamesmanship in that.
100%. And this is
But
why they made sure
Let
that
the Raptors
let us move
waited,
first.
and that people are saying there were people in the front office who were opposed to that. Let it go.
Mhm.
What kind of relationship you going to have if you hold on to the trash that happened yesterday?
Yeah.
If you're still here and he's a part of your business and you're a part of this business, at some point you're going to have to make amends. What happened. Here we are, thriving and flourishing in the city.
I was just upset that they didn't do it while he was playing. Like they should have done it. He's played 20 whatever amount of years. They should have done it.
They
while
kind
he
of had a
was
little
playing.
tribute for him when he was in
Yeah,
Memphis.
No,
He
they should
cried
have
over
had
it.
him come in.
Retire his
Do
jersey
it.
while he's playing?
Yeah, no, I'm saying retire him as a Raptor.
Oh, retirement.
I like
Yeah,
that too.
I like
Well, he
that.
says he's
Retire
going
as a
in.
Raptor.
He's going in the Hall of Fame, which he's in the induction
Yes.
class this year,
Right.
and that happens in October. That he's going in as a Raptor.
So,
You know, so he played for how many teams?
He played for Memphis,
He played for a bunch of teams.
Dallas, Phoenix,
Orlando.
Orlando, New Jersey.
8 teams.
So about
7 or 8.
7 teams.
yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
It's
So
like
about 6, 7. Yeah, about
like 22
right.
years,
Yeah.
right?
But I believe that it's only right. Toronto, he's the greatest Toronto Raptor ever.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a question. I'm talking about even the things that he's done in the community. Like look at how he built that park on Dixon,
Yeah.
and now he revamped it and did it over again just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Like look at the things that he's still doing as far, and he hasn't played for us in a while. So
I used to run his basketball camps here.
have you seen how the court looks now?
Oh.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about. Well, let's talk about some of the things. He was named All NBA team twice, 2000, 2021. 5 consecutive All-Star appearances.
Mm.
Almost 10,000 points over here. I think DeMar DeRozan is number 1 in points, I believe. But amazing slam dunk contest. Probably one of the greatest slam dunk
easily.
contests
Most dominant
forever.
slam dunk contest.
Put Toronto on the map.
That dunk off put us on the map right there.
Put us on the map. And again, remember you were talking about the Carter effect. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Mm.
The many other things that he contributed to the city.
Right.
So it's only right that Vincent Lamar Carter gets his jersey retired, and he's the first one to get his jersey.
I think it's right.
Let's start building culture in Toronto. Let's
I think
start doing.
that's the key. I think when you look at how this business is made, right, it's very entertainment driven. I mean, TMZ has a sports desk. Ask yourself why. Okay?
Really?
So when you look at culture is not just entertainment. It's about the foundation, the pieces that make the thing thrive, even after the people who said it are gone, that you want to follow in that tradition. You want to help create and enhance that culture. And I think that when you see all these players in the NBA, you see these players playing overseas, you see these players playing in the Olympics who are from Canada and are representing this country, a lot of that stems from, no disrespect to Steve Nash or Ulrich, Alexander Fox, or people like that who came before. Leo Routens, all these people who came before.
Yeah. Shut up.
But the guy who helped Canada become Canada on the global basketball side, Vince Carter.
So are we good now? Vince Carter, the greatest rapper of all time? Are we done with that? Are we done with the Kyle Lowrys and all this other stuff? Are we done?
I understand that argument for Kyle Lowry because he stayed. When people say, he stayed. Okay.
Listen, if we had different management, Vince Carter goes nowhere. If a Masai Ujiri type of person was in management, we don't trade him for two bums from.
I'm gonna give you some burn on management. I'm gonna give you some burn on management too. So the guy who builds up the program, as he called it when he was a coach here, Wayne Casey, never got a shot to be the head coach of Canada basketball. They never asked him or Sam Mitchell ever. But there was a guy sitting on his bench. When he got fired, they made him the head coach. As soon as they won the championship, Nick Nurse is now, nothing against Nick.
Which made no sense to me.
Right. If these guys are running your organization, they're the most visible, how do you bring players into your program as Canada basketball if you don't have a visible coach who's doing that? Sam Mitchell was the coach of the year here, right? No matter what you feel about Sam Mitchell, he's coach of the year. He's the one who verified that Vince said he never wanted to leave. Right? But the deal was done. Okay. Dwayne Casey built the program up. In 2016, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals against the artist, well, I call him on my podcast, He Who Shan't Be Named, because people get so emotional when you say his name. So they went there and they won 2 games. They're 2 games away from the NBA Finals.
Right there, man.
Right there. There was no Kawhi Anthony Leonard. There's none of that. Dwayne Casey didn't get a fair shake out here. I'm just saying that. Coach, that's a
good point. That's a very good point. But DeMar said it. I heard it come out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's correct. That's crazy.
Yo, the man said if we had LeBron on our team, even being up 2 games at one point, we had I have to say the man's name. If we had LeBron on our team, we would win. I'm paraphrasing, but he said that.
Yeah.
And Corey Joseph was sitting right beside him.
That must have really, because you keep bringing out.
That hurt. That hurt, man, because DeMar's my guy.
We gotta move on.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
But yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it.
We gotta move on.
Vince, salute to you.
Love it.
The greatest. He's on the Mount Rushmore.
You know what?
I'll give him that.
I think that's a fair.
I'll give him that. He's on the Mount Rushmore with Kyle.
We're gonna move on.
Let's go.
So big news yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Carl Anthony Towns gets traded, man, from Minnesota, and it happened so late at night. Like it was so weird when it happened.
In the training camp.
Yeah. So he gets traded to the Knicks. For who is it? Dante and Julius Randle on a first round pick.
Yeah.
So, what is your thoughts on this trade?
Excellent trade.
For who? Both teams, or
I think for both teams actually, but for the Knickerbockers in particular. Them losing Isaiah Hartenstein, which is crazy to say for a guy who barely played in Houston, but it was about fit, and he fit what they were doing in New York because of his hands. He can go on the perimeter. He could be that quarterback who he could pass the ball. He rebounded. He had his little floater in the lane. So the way the game is going, a guy like that is a key cog. He didn't play defense. Let's be clear. But to lose him and not to know what's going on with Mitchell Robinson means a lot. So go out and get an all-star level center to play your team surrounded by shooters and scorers and slashers. Because Carl Anthony Towns doesn't have to stand in the post. As a matter of fact, he doesn't like to be down there. It was part of his issue. But it was good for Julius Randle. They could have traded him to Atlanta or Detroit. They traded him to a Western Conference team that's contending for a championship. Right. He should be very happy with that. They, in the past, Minnesota was like the Siberia. That in Sacramento.
Yeah, you want to go out there.
It's not that anymore.
No.
So for them to trade him to a contending team is good for Julius Randle. He was the odd man out in New York.
Yes, he was.
It was no longer his team.
He knew it.
And so
we've seen the Twitter comments and stuff like that.
And so did they.
He knew his time was coming.
And they treated him properly, I think.
Yeah.
Because Jalen Brunson's the man there. Julius Randle was going to be 1B, 1, whatever it was.
Right.
And he knew it wasn't going to be about him. He's going to be the same thing in Minnesota, but now he has more room to do what he does.
They brought toughness. They brought some toughness to Minnesota, which I think they needed. Because Rudy Gobert soft. And Carl Anthony Towns.
I don't know if he's soft.
He's soft. Rudy Gobert soft.
Well, I call him on my podcast, I call him Booty Gobert because his game is wild buns.
Booty Gobert.
Yo,
What?
control of the league.
Say it.
Woo.
He is soft though, and they got some toughness. Him and Ant-Man. Ant-Man is going to be obviously, 1A.
100%.
Yeah, then he's a 20.
But having a guy who can go out and get you 20 and 10 on his own, like he's not a guy who spends on point guard to give him the ball and score.
Right.
He can create, and that's the difference. I think that's going to be a big deal for Minnesota. Yeah. But I think it's a great trade. Like a lot of people,
and Conley's a willing passer. He'll look for. Maybe he wants to see his guys eat.
He's 37 too.
And they're going all in with Anthony Edwards and Nas Reed.
Yes.
So apparently they couldn't afford to keep Towns. That's why they traded him.
Right.
And I think they would have to like trade Nikhil and who else? Nas Reed.
You see, this is the same situation that went on in Denver. It's about to happen in Boston. You see, the ownership has already bounced out of there. Right. They see that tax coming up, that second and third. There might be a third apron for those guys.
Right.
You have two guys making almost $750 million, right, on your squad. That's tough.
That's why Boston's going to win. That's why they're going to win back to back, and then they're going to blow it up.
Will they?
They're going to win this year.
They said that about Denver too, and you don't realize how fickle the mistress is chemistry. Mm-hmm. So you lose Bruce Brown, you lose
Bruce Brown was a major part. Losing
Contavious Caldwell-Pope is huge.
It's huge.
But even losing Bruce last year was a major. Like Bruce,
you saw that.
Did his thing. Boston's coming back
Boston
with the
same five.
The same exact team.
Okay.
The only thing I see hindering Boston at the beginning is conditioning in regards to Drew played way more than my man JT in the Olympics. White played way more than my man JT in the Olympics. And they're two intricate pieces for what Boston does.
If Boston goes out and tries to be the best team in the East or have the best record in the league, they'll be playing themselves. It would not matter. They've already won the championship. All you have to do is be healthy and be in the top 4 in the East. Make sure you have home court advantage. Any veteran team should know that at this point, once you climb that mountain the first time. If they go after that, they're going to be playing themselves. They don't have Kristaps Porzingis, who I used to call 3-6 Slapia, but he cannot wear 6 anymore.
Where you get these names from, man?
You got the name, man.
Number 6.
What?
3-6 Slapia, right?
What is that?
So, he wears 8 now, and not have him until what? December, January,
yeah.
They're going to just hold down the fort. So you see a lot of Al Horford, 39 years old. You have Luke Cornett, because everybody fears Luke Cornett.
Right.
He just jumps in the air.
Yeah, I always found that funny. But hey, look,
what are you doing?
The fact of the matter is, Boston with their core 4 are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Peyton Pritchard is really good off the bench.
I like Pritchard, man. He's nice with that.
Sam Hauser off the bench. So they have some players who will keep them in the fold. But again, as a veteran team, Bill Russell once said this, late great Bill Russell. You know what's the hardest championship to win? Second. Because everybody, the motivation to get there is different. People say what they want to say. But what you do will show. And you'll see if guys are trying to be like, who's the guy? Is it AB, right? Or not AB, I'm sorry. If it's JB or JT, who's the guy? Like, he's first team All-NBA. This other guy wasn't All-NBA at all.
He was MVP and he was
I'm just saying.
What's the last?
They say they're cool.
Back-to-back that we had. You guys know?
Of course.
What's the last back-to-back championship?
The Golden State Warriors, man. 17 and 18.
So when Giannis won when he broke through, won his championship, everybody said, "Oh man, they're gonna win 2 and 3."
Right.
And Denver came one day. Oh, they're gonna win 2 and 3.
But hold up, Raptors should have if Kawhi didn't. I'm just saying.
We're doing suppositions.
There we go.
We knew he was a rental.
So we're not gonna keep going.
Well, hold on. Back to your original question, man. My feeling on the whole trade. Knicks just traded a dog for a cat. Thank you. You know what I mean? Because now I feel like y'all messed up. They messed up.
Right.
Philly has way more depth. Knicks lost depth. They're gonna probably finish maybe third. I'm talking the Knicks. They'll probably finish third or fifth. Long-term thinking.
I know you jump.
They're going from third to fifth, man. Listen, I think Indiana can be better than them.
No.
I think Philly's gonna be better than them. And then
Philly still has to be like, I don't trust those two guys.
And Milwaukee's already better than them.
I don't know about that.
That Cat Embiid matchup when they meet, Cat don't want it with Embiid. It's just you've seen it. There's proof. I'm just saying, man. Knicks, you done did it again, man. You done did it again.
Yeah. This trade, I think Knicks won this trade, but I think Knicks is going to be a top three, at least a top three seed in the East. I don't trust Philly.
Man.
I told you I don't trust Philly because of Embiid.
What's his name? Coach Dib. He's gonna run. Listen, man. It was great. What Brunson did was phenomenal. But look at the minutes that he played.
Just hold on. Just hold on.
Look at the minutes he played, fam.
We just have to accept it.
So what?
You were wrong.
Nah. Raptors are gonna be better in the next 2 years.
You were wrong.
Raptors are gonna be better.
You said that the Raptors are gonna be in a better position in 3 years.
Right.
It's not looking like that right now.
It's looking like that. You know why?
It's not looking like that.
Because remember, you got Edward Rogers. He's about to. Hopefully, he doesn't give Masai the can. So Masai putting the pressure on the mandem. It's now or I'm out. It's on and popping, man.
Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused.
I am focused.
I want you guys to ask these questions. I want you to ask the question on who. So look in the camera. I want you to ask this question to the audience. Who won the trade out of Minnesota and Boston? Minnesota and the Knicks.
Who won the trade between Minnesota and the Knicks? Let us know here on Hip Hop Hoops.
Now, I want you to know. I want you to ask this question.
Yes.
About where will the Knicks finish in the Eastern Conference? Talk to y'all.
Where will the Knicks finish in the Eastern Conference this year? I say fifth. But let me know in the comments.
Okay, let's move on. Listen, this was an interesting topic that we had last week, man. We had to save it for this week. We got the facts, we got the numbers this week. We want to talk about Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, and Kawhi Leonard. And we want to know who had the best run out of those three. The best playoff run to the championship. Off the top, who would you say had the best run?
As an individual, Kawhi had a top 5 all-time individual playoff performance ever. That's not even in question.
Who you got?
But I'm saying from a team standpoint, what they did as a team, because that's different. Like Dirk's team beat this team and that team to make it. So that's why I said I made the caveat up front. Individually, Kawhi's run in 2019 is one of the greatest of all time, right? But people talk about Dirk's run because of who he beat and beat in final.
He done beat a lot of guys.
Beat a lot of guys.
Let me put it like this though. Kevin Wayne Durant in 2012.
Right.
They beat the 2010 champions and the Lakers. They beat the 2011 champions and the Dallas Mavericks, led by Dirk Warner Nowitzki. Okay. Then they go Western Conference Finals. They beat a team that won 21 straight games, including the first two Western Conference Finals, the San Antonio Spurs. When they got to the finals, everybody thought it's going to be a sweep. They're going to beat Miami. Then something different happened.
Good.
I'm just saying, if we're talking about great runs, that's easily one of the greatest runs ever.
But they didn't complete the mission though.
Right,
because we can't have that.
They met somebody in the final too.
Right.
Yeah, they met a super team.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
They should lose. They met a super team. But
so you're talking about a team that had 3 eventual MVPs of the league. Was not a super team.
three potential MVPs.
No, they became MVP.
Yeah, well, James Harden was like coming off the bench at that time. So
James Harden,
James Harden wasn't James Harden.
What? That's why they traded him for $80 million. Oh, yeah.
He walked away, didn't you?
No, they traded him. I was on air at TSN when that trade happened. We announced on air
right
when they traded him. I'm like, yeah, they put a gun to his head and said, look, sign this contract or we're taking you to Houston.
Okay, listen, we're not gonna keep talking about the
I didn't say his name. I didn't say nothing.
We know what you're trying to allude to.
I didn't say nothing. I'm speaking of what it is.
Let's go through the runs. Okay, we'll start up. Who do you have first? Who has the best run out of those 3?
I mean, Kawhi, Dirk, they had some great runs.
Who has the best run, man? Don't give me all this other stuff, man.
Dwayne Wade, man.
All right, I got Dirk. I got Dirk. So I'm gonna go through my Dirk run first because Dirk had the best run. First off, what he averaged 27 or pretty much 28. 8-2. That's what he averaged, right? Smacks Portland, right? Goes through Portland. He goes to the Lakers, right? I'm talking, do you know what he scored in the Lakers?
The 2010 Lakers, yeah.
Yes. He got 28, 24, 32, 17 with the Lakers. Sweeps the Lakers with Kobe on that team, mind you. He goes to OKC. Do you know what he does with OKC? Let me tell you what he does with OKC. 48, 29, 18, 40, 26 against OKC. Listen, OKC. No interject.
Right.
Then he goes in and smacks Miami, the super team. He smacks them 27, 24, 34, 21, 29, and 20, and beats the Lakers. Beats Miami. He was down 0-2. They were laughing at him. They were talking about, oh, he's sick, and he spanked them. The worst. That is the worst finals performance ever. The worst finals performance let down ever by Miami Heat. The worst.
Led by
led by LeBron. And mind you,
so we're not going to talk about 3-1.
Hold on.
If you want to talk about control off the lead, you're choking on something.
Hold on. Hold on. No, you guys are talking because I'm cooking right now.
Okay.
I'm cooking. But hold on. Who was the overwhelming favorite of that series?
There was no overwhelming favorite. Dallas actually won more games than Miami that year.
Who was the favorite in that series? Who was the favorite in that series?
I don't recall who was the favorite.
We know Miami. We know Miami Heat, the super team, was the favorite in that series. We know that your boy averaged 18, 17 a game in that series. We know that is the greatest letdown of any superstar that's ever played the game. And we know that's why he can't jump over the hump of being the greatest player of all time. Because of that 2011 championship run where he melted. He had the biggest meltdown ever by an NBA star. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Anyways.
I remember the 1984 finals with the tragic Johnson.
Anyways.
I can do this all day.
No, we can do this all day.
No tragic by Isaiah Thomas's name.
But listen. Every week we're here together, and we talk about LeBron. Don't jump ship now.
I'm not jumping ship.
Like you over there now.
I ain't over there.
Now he over there cheering for LeBron. Like the students are gonna be proud of him tomorrow, boy, when they see this. Because every single week, oh LeBron, I hate LeBron. Now he's like, yeah, man.
I never said I hated the man, bro. I just said he ain't the greatest of all time. That's what I'm saying.
You see how the tone changed? Don't change the tone because the guest is here.
You got the great Will Strickland in the building. I got to move a little bit more cordial and professional with it.
Anyways, you know what I mean? So let's talk about, do you have Dwayne Wade's run?
I got Dwayne Wade.
Okay, let's talk about Dwayne Wade's run.
Dwayne Wade, 05-06 run. Remember, he got drafted in 03. All right? So do the math. 2 seasons later, he's leading a team to a chip.
Great
point. What?
Great point. I said great point.
Thank you. Can I get a pound for that?
No.
I got a pound myself.
Because you over there switching sides.
I ain't switching sides, man. I ain't switching sides. You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
First round, they beat the Bulls. The Bulls were 41-41. They ain't nothing crazy. But he averaged 24, 5, and 7. You know what I mean? Second round, played against the Nets. You know what I mean? Averaging 27, damn near 28. 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Well, you know what I mean? This is 05.
Whoa.
It don't matter. He's second year or third year in the NBA, bro. Okay. You know what I mean? Coming out of one of the best.
The Nets on the Marquette.
Coming out of one of the best draft classes ever. When they were just talking about LeBron.
You just said the 96 draft was the best.
I'm just saying one of.
This boy.
I said the 96 is the best draft class. It's okay. It's okay. All right. You know what I mean? In the conference finals, you know what I mean? Played against Detroit Pistons. Detroit was still a squad in the mid 2010s there. You know what I mean? Beat the Pistons by averaging 27, 5, and 5. You know what I mean? And then they played against the Mavs.
Yep. They were the number 1 seed.
They ended up playing against the Mavs.
I think the Mavs won 60 games.
You can say what you want. You know what I mean? They went 60-22.
Yeah, they were the best team.
Right? Yep. Dirk and them. You know what I mean? This is before Dirk won his chip.
Yep.
Right? And you know how much Wade torched those guys?
He went off.
34. I'd say 35 a game. 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Took the MVP, finals MVP. That was the greatest to me out of those three, the greatest run. Only because of he was just a rookie the other day, bro. You know what I mean? He was just a rookie the other
I think
day.
I want to win this one because it was Kawhi in Toronto. So
So do you have, because we have the numbers for Kawhi. Kawhi averaged 30,
I'm just
pretty much
going
31, 9,
758
and
points,
4.
right? In that whole playoff series run.
Yeah.
I think it was like
How much?
that's 758 points.
732 points.
Look at me. I'm close.
218
I'm just going
218 rebounds and 94 assists. He couldn't pass
That's
one
one of the
down.
greatest playoff runs in NBA history.
Orlando first round.
Okay.
What,
I don't know. I didn't
he
know the
scored
numbers.
25, 37, 16.
You know what's funny
34,
about numbers?
27.
I'll say this about numbers real quick. It's impact. When you score those points is when it means the most. So
Right.
the shot he hit against Philadelphia,
Right.
biggest shot of his life. Easily top 5 shot in NBA Finals or NBA.
Greatest shot in Toronto Raptors history.
100%.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Mo Pete is bad at me, but
OP, you're up.
they're playing against Washington.
Mo Pete's up there.
That game was done too.
Right.
That dude just threw the ball
Yeah,
up.
but he
He
could-
fucked up stuff.
Right?
No,
So,
Mo Pete's up there.
but straight up, Kawhi Leonard's run that year, top 5 all time. Look at that.
Orlando, Philly. Against Philly, he had 45, 35, 33, 39, 21, 29, 41. That went to game 7. My God.
And I'm different. I'm kind of funny about.
Wow.
I'm kind of funny about Kawhi's career,
Right.
right? As a 2-time Finals MVP and multiple-time champion, you know, his numbers look like Cornbread Maxwell's.
Right.
That Young has more points, career points, than Kawhi Leonard. How?
He don't
Right?
play.
Don't play.
We know why. He don't play basketball.
Right. So, you know, the great Rashad McCants said he was overrated since 2019. The word overrated is overrated too.
Didn't LeBron average 30 something on McCants career wise?
Everybody cooked it. But
Let's go. So he did. It was Orlando first round, Philly second round.
Hold on. But before that, the Bucks.
We're going to the Bucks right
I
now.
didn't even care about the scoring. When he said he was gonna guard Giannis,
that's it.
That
Because
just
then those
impact.
moments mean
Yeah,
something.
so he, against the Bucks, he had 31, 9, to 31 8, 36 9, 19 7, 35 7, 27 and 17 rebounds against the Bucks.
Mhm.
They were down 0-2. He came back, won 4 straight.
Right.
Going to the championship game now against the Golden State Warriors, 23 8, 34 14, 30 7, 36 12, 26 12, 22 6, beat him in 6.
Now we're not going to talk about the injuries because every championship.
No, we ain't.
Every championship that's ever been won
No,
is
right.
won on the backs of a suspension or a championship or an injury. Period. Right. So we can be clear on that. But this run to be as an individual is one of the best ever, and I'm not really a Kawhi Leonard fan like that. So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask the audience. I want to talk to you guys. I want to know who had the better playoff run out of these 3 guys. Dwayne Wade. What year was that? It was
2006,
05, 06, Dwayne Wade, 2011, Dirk Nowitzki, and 2019, Kawhi Leonard. Talk to us in the comments. We want to know. Dirk got it, man. Dirk got it. Let's go.
But okay, so let's talk about, this is probably an easy answer for all of us. So I want to talk about the best shooting guard ever. Who was the best shooting guard to ever play in the NBA? Best shooting guard of all time. We know this answer. It's going to be quick.
Why are we doing this?
It's going to be quick.
This is loaded. It's Sunday.
It's
Minus
Sunday.
Sunday truce. St. Michael Jeffrey of Wilmington.
Okay, who do you got?
Kobe
Come
Bryant.
on, man.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, Lord. Okay,
Mm-mm.
I have
Kobe
Michael Jordan
Bryant.
is the greatest shooting guard of all time. I want to talk to the guys in the comments once again. Who is the greatest shooting guard who ever played in the NBA? I got Michael Jordan. He has Kobe Bryant. God bless his soul. Will got Michael Jordan as well. Talk to us in the comments. Okay, we're gonna move on from that. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Will, you mentioned impact. Because
Can we move
sometimes
on?
my man Iggy likes to get caught up with numbers, you know what I mean? And less impact. We're gonna touch impact real quick. Let me bring it back. All-Star game, Madison Square Garden, I believe it was 1998. Kobe finished with 18 in the third, right? He's like 19 years old, I believe. Going against MJ, and MJ was getting ready for his second three-peat. George Karl subbed him out. Why? Karl Malone was kind of upset that Kobe kept brushing him off for screens. David Robinson was like, nah, I can't do it. Mans were complaining about the kid, Kobe, because of his impact. So that kind of, I'm a Jordan guy. Like Jordan's the guy. But
Damn, I almost fell asleep.
this one dude, Kobe, always, when he had the chance to, even though he'll ask MJ questions about the game, he'll always find a way to take it to him. So
Just
therefore,
remember that George Karl went to North Carolina, and the North Carolina dudes stick together.
bottom line,
Okay, what's your point?
That-
What's your
no,
point?
no, no,
Judge
okay,
Smith
we're getting to the
glazes
point.
Jordan
No,
on a regular
you're
basis.
taking too long to get to the point. We got.
we're getting to the point.
okay,
We're
so
getting
what's
to
the
the point. The point is, because of all the hate, all of the behind the scenes of trying to dismantle the man's legacy, people forget that Kobe is up there as a top 2 guard of all time. That's
I
what I'm
never
saying.
said he's not up there. He's number 2.
No, number 1.
Okay, so this is how this makes no sense. Who's the greatest player ever played the game? Okay,
Kobe
let's
Bryant.
move on. Let's move on.
Kobe Bryant.
Because he said on this platform who's
Kobe
the greatest
Bryant.
player of all time was Michael Jordan.
Receipts.
Now he's
Where's the
switching.
receipts?
So let's
Where's
move
the
on.
receipts? Where's the
Let's move
receipts
on.
at?
Let's move
Where's
on.
the
You
receipts
see how
at,
I
eh?
caught him? You see how I caught him real quick? He sat on this show, on this couch, every single week and said MJ is the greatest player to
I was
ever
sitting
live.
on this couch,
Now-
Iggy?
yes.
Was I sitting on this couch?
Okay, you're
Iggy?
sitting on that
no,
couch.
I'm sitting on that. Get your
Yeah,
facts straight.
So
Where's the receipts
now,
at?
so now he's switching, talking about Kobe Bryant's the great. Let's
Come
move.
on, man.
Let's move on.
Kobe Bryant.
I'm saving
number
you.
8,
I'ma
number
save you.
24,
Let's
retired.
move on.
Who got that?
Let's move on. Okay, so I want to talk about the greatest shooting guards who are playing in the NBA today. So I want to give me your top 5 shooting guards to play in the NBA today.
I don't know if I have-
2024, 2025
I don't know
season.
if I have 5 right off the top of my head. I know Anthony Edwards is at the top of that list
Right.
because he plays offense and defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't understand the term two-way player. This is not football where you play one end on offense. It's a redundant term. It doesn't make
Right.
sense. Whether you play defense or not, you're still a two-way player. Every player is a two-way player. Every player's a role player. Like,
Right.
it's ridiculous, but whatever. So Anthony Edwards at the top, but Jaylen Brown is right behind him, in my opinion. A guy who didn't make an all-NBA team for whatever reason, cool. After that, it's like a mixed bag for me.
Okay.
Devin Booker's in that conversation for
Okay.
sure. You know what? Think some more. I don't
Donovan
want to take up too
Mitchell.
much time. Donovan Mitchell's okay. If you want to say that, yeah, Donovan Mitchell's in that conversation. Who else would you say?
I got my list.
Okay.
This is my list right here.
I like Jalen Williams. I like
from
that.
OKC.
Yeah, I like
Jalen
that. I
Williams,
think
yeah.
I don't know if he's top 5 already. There's some things we need to talk about.
Right.
I think OKC, he fits exactly what OKC needs. He's a great player for that squad.
So I don't think Clay is a top 5.
No, that part is done.
Yeah, he's not top. I don't think Bradley
Jimmy
Beal.
Butler's not that.
Yeah, Jimmy
Bradley-
Butler
This season is Kyrie considered a 2?
No. I don't.
You know what?
I never consider Kyrie a 2.
I'm just
Even
saying,
though
I
he-
think
his
we
role
would think we would
for
have to consider
Dallas.
him a 2.
That's what I'm saying.
So I would put him at top 5.
That's
Jalen
why he's part of my
Williams.
top 5.
Ahead of Jalen Williams, just out of respect. I think
Right.
that's more reasonable.
Okay, so who do you have for your top
I got
5?
Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, Kyrie Irving.
Okay. And my list is obviously I got Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell. I got Jaylen Brown, and then I got Jalen Williams for OKC.
I just think he's going to
Top
have
5.
a crazy year this year, Jalen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
I think that what he did when the moment hit, and he stepped up in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then he did in the finals. He's like, "This is my time now."
Right.
Right? And to see his progression as a human being off the court actually is exhibiting itself on the court too.
Right.
Like when Ice Cube was saying that the NBA was trying to blackball him and make sure he didn't get the deal, he went and played for
Who
the Big
played in
Three.
that? Real talk.
Like to me, if you want to talk a real one, Jaylen Brown is that guy, and he's probably the smartest guy in the league too. Like the stuff he does at MIT, he went to Cal Berkeley. Like he's a very intelligent guy. The rap part, we're gonna leave that alone.
Just do it.
We're gonna leave that alone. 100%.
Just do it.
Hey,
And them sneakers is trash. Them raggedy ass sneakers he
Listen,
just released, them trash.
but they are his, and I respect
No,
that.
they trash.
They might be,
Yeah.
but I respect the effort. Respect that he turned down the machine and said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna do me first.
And he
Let's see
pillow
what I can do."
talks a lot, so I don't rock with that.
You know, it's a lot of
He a
guys.
pillow talker.
Again, they talk about guys are not emotional. Guys are more emotional than women.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Leave
for
it at
now.
that?
Like I said,
that's a whole nother podcast,
listen,
sir.
like I said, TMZ has a sports department for a reason.
For a reason, man.
They know it's a lot. Listen, 11 million dudes out here talking about Cardi B and Offset,
Right.
and all this other stuff. Like you're in somebody else's marriage like that, my guy.
Come on.
You care that much?
Real. That's real.
Relax.
Right there. That's real.
So okay, so let's finish up. So as for top 5 shooting guards again, I want to know.
Yeah.
Tell us again who's your top 5
I
shooting
got
guards?
Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker,
Right,
Donovan Mitchell,
right,
Jaylen Brown,
right.
and Kyrie Irving.
And who would you say your top 5 is? Will
Anthony
Okay.
Edwards, Jaylen Brown,
Right.
Devin Booker,
Yep.
Kyrie Irving,
Right.
and then Donovan Mitchell. I'll go with that.
Okay. So mine is Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Williams. I want to know top 5 shooting guards in the NBA today, 2024, 2025 season. Talk to us in the comments. Let's get it. Okay. So we're gonna get to hip hop, man. This has been a really interesting topic for us.
Mhm.
Our fans, we have fans.
We got fans in LA now,
Yeah,
man.
so we get cussed out a lot. Listen, guys, we have a bona fide American sitting here with us right now. So listen. So first, before we talk about Kendrick Lamar and whether or not he's able to perform not like us at the Super Bowl, I want to ask you a question about culture, because a lot of Americans seem to think that because we're in Canada, that we have no knowledge about hip hop and we cannot speak on hip hop. So, and then they always bring this thing in, culture. We ain't from the hood, cuz, and all that. Like, so you can't speak upon it. So I want to ask you, as being an American and living in Canada, seeing how both operate closely, what is your thoughts about when they talk about this culture thing? And can you explain this culture thing? Because every time we ask, what is the culture? What do you mean by culture? They just say, well, you're a glazer. That's where they go to. So can you ask?
When people don't have answers, that's what they do.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
attack
So
certain things that because they don't have a real answer, they just talk for the sake of talking.
Mm.
And as someone who created and taught the world's first university accredited course on hip hop culture,
Mm.
that would be me.
Let's get
Talk
it.
to him.
Right?
Let's get it.
Called Edutainment, the impact of hip hop on American culture. Right? I didn't want someone else to tell my story. I keep telling you guys the same thing about this when I said nothing against anyone else. I just want to tell my story with people who look like me. That's me.
Right.
Because no one else is out here going, if I'm sitting around waiting for somebody else to tell my story, I'd be sitting around waiting for someone else to tell my story. So I chose to tell my story, right? That's what culture is to take the things you have, the precepts and tenets of, it's like a patchwork quilt, right? Take all these things and say, this is the culture. This is what we're doing. So if it's, rap, DJing, b-boying, graffiti, that's our culture because they were all distinct cultures on their own. This is what makes us us. Cool. This is us. That's the culture. So in teaching that class, because I didn't want someone else to tell my story, hood's a hood no matter where you go, right? And when people talk about, violence doesn't make culture, like, man, everybody got shot in my neighborhood. Are you standing on that? Relax. When I talk to Kanon, who you would not think is like a gangster rapper, ask him about Mogadishu. You talking about this hard Chicago.
Right.
When your heads are getting chopped up because of your religion or your tribe, whatever the case, come on, dog. Stop all that. That's how we get caught up. We get caught up in these things that have nothing to do with actual creating culture. Culture is about love, peace, unity, and having fun. It's not about who has the hardest hood, who had to go through. I got it out the mud, son. Okay, we all got it out the mud, my guy.
Right.
It was put against us. It was generational PTSD we all suffer from. So again, when people get caught up in the performative art that they do online about whose hood is the best, I'm in Canada. Now, a lot of people who claim they know about culture don't know that in the early days of the industry, because there's a difference between the industry and the culture. The culture says, don't let another MC steal your rhymes. But in the industry, it's a collaborative effort. If you're my producer, you're a writer on my song.
Right.
So they say, well, he has a ghostwriter. Yeah, because they write in a collaborative situation. If you understood the industry, you know that. So people who don't understand the difference between the culture and the industry get caught up in calling the industry the culture. So for me, when people say, oh, you guys can't be in the culture, well, who are you to be the arbiter of who can be what? It's like the whole, well, you're not black enough. Well, who are you to tell me who I'm, like, what is black enough? right? So again, people get caught up in the minutia of the thing, not understanding the fact that if you contribute positively to the culture of the thing, if that's the music, if that's your art, whatever that is, and people are paying attention to that, and I'm not necessarily saying about the negative part, because there are negative parts in culture too, right? But to understand that these parts are part of human beings, that we're not all inherently good or inherently bad. That's a part of us. That's authentic. And I respect that. So when people say you guys can't be a part of the culture because you're from Canada, ask them where they got that authority to tell you that, because they don't have it.
So okay, so when Kendrick, when he said that line about, this is what the culture is feeling, when he was talking about Drake is not the culture, what is your thoughts on that?
I think that's part of the culture versus the industry conversation.
Mm.
That he is more about it. And I can't knock a guy from an industry standpoint. It's a capitalist society. Go get your money. Cool. Drake makes hits. That's not, you cannot deny that. Okay. When they say that he comes down and takes from culture, right? He's taking from Future or 21 Savage. He's in his mid-30s going to hang out with 21 Savage. I get all that people are saying. But again, this is a collaborative situation. Are we talking about it from the industry standpoint or from the culture standpoint? Is he contributing to the culture? Yeah. You not like the way he's doing it? Nope. And that's what happens with people. It's like, say for instance, you were working you ran the TTC. You're a person that worked at TCC, but MLSE said, hey, we want you to come run our operations, right? And you had a press conference to tell people you're going to go from the TTC to MLSE. Just because people didn't like the way you did it doesn't mean that you didn't contribute to change or you didn't do what's best for your career and your life. So again, people are arbitrary about what they like and what they don't like, right? When you say Canadians are not part of the culture, 100% they are. When you look at the industry of it, top 10 Billboard charts, you either have a song by this guy or a song by somebody who's working with this guy, whether it's Nicki Minaj or Lil Wayne. It's The Weeknd. Like, come on, man.
Or a song dissing him.
Or a song dissing him.
Right.
It's all in there. So he's a fulcrum of a lot of stuff.
Right.
So to say he's not the culture is ridiculous. Now, is he an industry guy? 100%. And I don't knock that. It's the industry. It's a business. But having cultural respect means something. I think some people respect the fact that he makes good music, cool, whatever, and they enjoy it, they dance to it. But is it soul food or is it fast food? People say that Kendrick is soul food. Some people say, well, Kendrick makes music for white people. We all make music for white people, dummy. Mm-hmm. They're the ones who buy it the most. Suburban kids, 78% of all hip hop or rap music consumed by suburban white males. So when Timothy and Bradley in Willowdale, or
shout out Willowdale,
in Richmond Hill, when they're up there, the Timothy and Bradley, when they come down to Queen Street West, the T-Rad B Wizard. Right. Cool. It's for the culture. Right. They purchased the culture. So whether we are doing it for pure financial reasons or we're doing it because we love the culture, and you can do both. You can't be a person that says, hey, look, I understand and love the culture and the history of it, because I don't think we appreciate our history enough. No. There's a reason why when we speak, and you guys, we've been floating around each other for a minute, but you guys know what I did at TSN. You knew what I did at the Score. And the same premise held, right? When I did the Score, I was even on the Score. Mark Strong and Sherman Hamilton, shouts out to them, were on the show. Guy came down to the park, and he started shooting footage. This is the culture. Ooh, this is good. They came down to the park. The park is the essence of hip-hop. Basketball and hip-hop linked forever.
Forever.
Okay? So they come down to court. They start shooting court cuts. You guys grew up on court cuts. Of course, court cuts. The best thing at the end of the show, during the breaks, everything. Yep. They start shooting. I'm like, hey, my man, don't put me on camera if you don't have a waiver. Guy goes, what do you know about a waiver? I said, what do you know about your OHIP? You want to use it in a day? My man, don't put me, if you don't have a waiver, don't put me on there. Right. Those guys at the picnic table, they're a little too comfortable on the other side of the law. You might want to talk to them before you start shooting down here like you're the feds. Right. That's the culture that people are talking about. Right. But that's just a respect thing. When I go to somebody else's neighborhood in Ghana or in Brazil or whatever, I talk to the people who run it. When I play Full Court 21 in Montreal, I know who the goons are in the neighborhood. I go up to them right away. Hey, we're doing this over here. You guys are more than welcome to come. It's respected. If you want to call that the culture, cool. That's respect. It's not the
Right.
culture,
Right.
right? So they shoot this video. I come back a week later. Dudes are like, yo, your commercial was hot, son. I'm like, what commercial? I didn't shoot no commercial. They show me the commercial. I go up to the score at the time. I'm like, who do I have to sue? Dead serious. I come out of there with a TV show. Court surfing. I was not on the show. But when you understand who you are, that's authentic.
Right.
That's the culture. Understanding who you are and what you can contribute and how to own that contribution, right? So I walked in there with a complaint. I walked out with a job, but not just a job. They wanted to just hire me as talent. Like, nope. I want to be writer, producer, floor director, and talent. So they paid me 4 times instead of once. When you understand what you have, you guys have something special. And when you can control your narrative, then you can take it wherever you want to go. That's the culture. We create the culture. Why don't we benefit from the culture?
So saying all that, are you Team Kendrick or are you Team Drake?
I am team hip hop culture all day, every day. I think it's all good for it. You know, like
correct
competition is healthy for the culture. You know, as much as people are saying Drake is canceled, Drake is still out here doing his thing. He don't care about what you feel about that. That's what people's emotions do. The facts of the matter say that he's still going to be out here making music unless they come up with some Diddy stuff. And then that's a whole nother conversation.
It's a whole different conversation.
And I've been asked time and time again because, you know, Diddy used to be my intern. Did you guys know that?
What?
At Uptown Records, he used to be my intern.
No.
And then when he got fired, after he became from intern to VP A&R, like he was the world's greatest intern. Went from intern to VP A&R because he raised his hand in the meeting. Then when he got fired, he started this little label called Bad Boy. He said he had a Jerry Maguire moment. Who wants to go with me? I raised my hand. We started Bad Boy Records. The guy who got me a trainer to get me ready to try out for the Toronto Raptors was Sean Combs. So that guy, I knew him. Did I go to Diddy parties? I've been to a couple Diddy parties. But I'll put it like this. No, I'm telling you straight out. The Diddy party, I had my son and my sister at the Diddy party in the Hamptons. We played a celebrity charity basketball game in like 1999. And it's crazy when I see all this coming together because Jamal Barrow, who is now a congressperson in Belize, this guy was physical trying to guard me in the game. They sound like big. I'm turning around. It's Sean.
Did he have his pistol on the side?
No, I'm saying he wasn't. He was just signed. I hadn't heard any music. I didn't know who he was.
Right. Could he play?
No, he couldn't play. He was just out there to be physical. But to hear him tell the story about how this man ruined his life at 18, like the guy I knew, that wasn't that guy. But people ask me, did money change him? I said, no. Money doesn't change anyone. It just makes you more what you already were. And so in that, going from the guy who wore a shirt and tie every day as an intern, while all the other interns wore the New York uniform.
Right.
Yankees fitted, Hanes white tee, 501s, Cheddar Tees, Timbs. Every single one of them looked like that except Puff. So to be outstanding, you have to stand out. He did that.
Yeah.
And so for him to go from that and like, I don't like to owe anybody anything.
Right.
And for him to say to me, you don't want, I'm like, I'm good. He goes, no, you got it. You good. He never asked for anything from me. I knew that guy. I don't know this guy.
Right.
Right. So I told him that's as far as I can go on it. You know, for whatever I got my jokes off online too.
Yeah.
About the baby oil and the toys that they found in his home that I guess were for personal use or whatever. You have, hey, do what you do. But culture, you know what? Kendrick Lamar is a great, Drake is a great. At the end of the day, that's what we're going to look at. You know, whether he does a song at the Super Bowl, he's going to do the song at the Super Bowl. Whether there's a letter, and I came at you guys a little bit online. I'm like, damn, cease and desist letters? That don't sound gangster.
He started a wildfire with a couple of American.
That don't sound gangster. But that's the point, though.
Right.
It's not about being gangster. He felt like his character was being defamed unless you have paperwork, like he said, to prove that. You're just making claims. Okay, cool. I get that.
Right.
Kendrick feels the way he feels. Unless you have something to back that up, then you have to stop saying that. I get it.
Okay, so but we don't know if this is true or not with the whole not like us the cease and desist. We don't know.
Yeah, it's alleged. It's alleged.
Yeah, it's alleged. We heard Whack 100 say it on I don't know, one of those podcasts.
If we're considering the source, then it's probably not true.
Yeah, like we don't know. But this is the second time I've heard something like that. I know that Charlamagne the God, he said it as well. Like he's not going to let you say this on this stage that you're a pedophile and you're this and that. He's going to have to alter. He's
does he
have
ever
to
actually
the song.
say it in the song though?
Hmm?
Did he call him a pedophile in the song, or does he allude to it?
Allude.
A minor.
Right.
He just alludes to it. So in that can be interpreted a lot
But
of
when he
different
says,
ways
"Hey
from a
Drake,
legal
I heard
standpoint.
you like him young,"
It's Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis liked him young too. They were grooming him at 13 and 14. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin.
Yeah, but
Elvis Presley married a 14-year-old.
God damn.
Yeah, but that's
Okay,
Elvis,
but still people, they didn't get canceled is what I'm saying.
but we know why they didn't get canceled.
Okay, so now we're
know
getting to the
why
root
they
of
didn't
it.
get
Now we're getting to
canceled.
the root of it, right?
Right. So, but
And the questions about blackness and what side is he standing on
Right.
come up when they talk about, who can get away with it and who can't. As
okay.
R. Kelly sits in jail, as Puffy sits in jail. And then you have a guy who has 34 felony convictions, a convicted felon, who can't vote in America, but could run for president.
What y'all doing in America, man?
That's
Hey,
what. That, but
I
that's
live in
when
Canada now.
When they say when they
I live
say
in
not
Canada
like
now,
us,
champ.
we're not trying to be like them. When they say not like us, look what we just talked about. We talked
Would that
about
give you a
Diddy.
segue?
We talked about Elvis. We talked about no, we're not trying to be like you guys. Relax. We're cool on that. But okay, so what is your whole thoughts? Is he gonna perform the song at the Super Bowl?
100%.
Is he gonna perform the song at the Super Bowl?
I
Is
hope
it gonna
not.
be altered?
No, you know what? This is crazy because it could be only because, and this goes back to Diddy
Remember
too.
when Janet showed that titty, she damn near got canceled.
Yeah,
now.
but that's that part. The edit part, J-Rue the Damager, Kendrick Davis, J-Rue the Damager, for those who remember 90s rap music.
Yep.
J-Rue, part of Gangstar Foundation, the whole nine, had a song called One Day, where he talked about how hip-hop back in the 70s, or not the 70s, the 90s, was messed up because of Sean Combs. And then, they went and got him from Suge, who kidnapped him or whatever, and like they beat up Jay Black and all these other people. Like they talk about Bad Boy. The record actually names Puff. He says his name. When I hear it on Hot 97 after they played it a couple times in New York, they took the name out. They made him edit the song. Right? They made J-Rue, and J-Rue didn't get any burn on Hot 97 for years because of that. Kendrick has a different platform, different weight. I would not compare those two, but that he came out and said something about one of the most powerful people in the culture and the industry as well, and Drake says something. We'll see how that goes. Allegedly or not, there's going to be some consideration made.
Does he say A minor in the
no,
song
he
on
won't say
stage?
it. The whole audience, 100 million people will be watching it, will say it at the same time. He won't say a word.
Does he say Baca's got a weird case? Why is he around? Does he say that in this on stage? Does he call Baca's name and says he has a weird case? Why is he around?
When you start naming street dudes who a lot of people don't know, you have to be careful. Because in the industry, you can moonwalk on some stuff, right? But when street dudes hear their names and they get called out, when you let the dogs of war loose, they don't walk backward.
Right.
And that becomes dangerous. Ask the late, great Tupac Shakur. Ask the late, great Christopher George Latour Wallace. We've seen this movie before. It can be dangerous when you include certain people, when you go to lone.
But they don't look at us like there's nothing to be dangerous over here anyways. That's
it's not about, it's not even about dangerous. Like I say this in my class. I still teach a class on hip hop culture called UNITY, why hip hop culture is the world's culture. In respect and out of respect, and an homage to my former boss and former basketball buddy, Dana Elaine Owens. You might know her better as the Equalizer, Queen Latifah. Right? She had a song called UNITY. When I say to them about what's worse than a slight or a diss, you know what's worse than that? Perceived one.
Yep.
So when you act on a perceived diss or slight, and then you find out it didn't happen, that's where the danger lies in alleging a thing,
right?
And saying this could have happened. So if Iggy, if you came to me and said, "Yo, Wood said this about you," and blah blah
it's
blah,
probably true.
I mean, no, but you know what? You know what's funny? I'd be like, "That's cool that's cool that you told me, but why do you feel so comfortable telling you?"
Right.
So now I'm looking at you too.
Oh, okay.
That's just me. I come from a different place. I watch everything and how people move, right?
That is
and so, but whatever it's worth, if it's rap beef or if it's real or not, I pay attention to that. Like I was in the house on August 3rd, 1995, when Suge Knight stood on stage at the Source Awards and said, "If you want your executive producer dancing on in your videos, come to
Classic.
death row. It was hot in New York that night.
Mhm.
It was electric.
You felt that tension?
Listen, it was electric in New York that night. Everywhere you moved.
Mm.
And somehow, some way, the guys who were at the center of all that are now in jail.
Mm-hmm.
But the guys who are the focal points of that whole thing are now dead.
Did.
So what are we talking about culture now?
Mm.
Is our culture built on death? And you know, because misery
Loves
and anguish
company,
sells, but
yeah.
death sells more.
Mhm.
And that's what people are selling. And somebody else has benefited from it. So what are we arguing about?
Mm.
But just to bring it back to Kendrick and the Super Bowl, he was just performing at the Super Bowl with Dr. Dre, 50, Eminem, and Snoop. And he played a few of his classic tracks. He performed it.
Who did?
Kendrick.
What's the classic tracks?
You're the
All right,
worst.
let's move on.
Yeah,
Let's move
No,
on.
no, no. But I'm just saying, is he gonna?
Let's move
He
on.
has no choice. I say that to say he has no choice really, but to play Not Like Us because
exactly.
he has
Because
nothing.
you see how I just got you? He has to. Because I just
I
asked
like the
you
way
the
you
classic
brought. I like.
songs.
The
There
way
is
you brought
none.
that.
It's flame
let's go.
broiled
Full
right now,
circle.
though. It's flame broiled goodness right now for
Right.
people. No matter how much they burn the song out or whatever the case might be, it's going to happen at the Super Bowl.
If he does not perform that song, it's going to be the worst Super Bowl performance ever. He can't bring out Schoolboy Q because nobody gives a
should.
damn. He can't bring out YG because nobody gives a damn. That only
But
matters
what
in
if-
LA.
What if he brings out Dwayne Michael Carter?
He's not going.
What if he brings out Dwayne Michael Carter?
Okay, I see where you're going. The only way that could happen unless Carter brings out Aubrey.
Right. This is
That's
what I'm
the only way
saying.
it's gonna happen.
Even if it looks like a truce on stage,
Yeah,
just
that's
like he
only way it's
did,
gonna happen.
just like he did the gang truce in LA with his performance on Amazon, what
Right.
Kendrick Lamar did. I'm just saying, I see that as a real possibility that Lil Wayne comes out of respect and homage to him in his city. That he brings out those guys, and then like the funny thing about this whole thing, and people are shooting shots at Jay-Z. Think about the fact that this man controls that part of the performance with the NFL and the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
How many times has Jay-Z done it?
None.
He could have been real selfish about it and he could have been the guy. He could have been Oprah on the screen. Every time in front of Oprah magazine, it's Oprah.
Right.
It could have been Jay-Z. He didn't do that. He's looking at these young cats and like, he's hot right now. Let's do that. It makes sense. It gives Jay-Z this cachet that here's a guy who could be on the stage every single year and doesn't do it. The last time the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, as a matter of fact, Lil Wayne didn't get a call then because Beyonce
His wife
was on the stage.
Yeah.
Well, he was not in control of it back then.
Right.
Oh,
It's
was
just
that
Beyonce.
time?
Beyonce is the force unto herself. She doesn't need Jay-Z to co-sign for her.
She does not.
So
She does not. But yeah, that's all we got.
I want to
today, man.
diffuse the heat, man. I know y'all want to come at me about whose team I'm on. I worked with Drake. You know, I've worked with Drake. Drake was, I wish I still had this text message he sent me once. So I didn't know who he was when I first met him. I didn't watch Degrassi High. It wasn't made for me. So when we had this thing, when I used to run the Urban Music Association of Canada, as the only American to ever do that, because when I put my toes 10 deep in your sand, I'm going to make it happen no matter where I go. Okay? Came up here, ran that, and we had an event called Urban Exposure. He signed up for it. I didn't know who he was. But when I was coming up for the auditions, I see this like group of people. It looks like a fight. Where I'm from, you don't run toward fights. I'm not doing that. I walked around it. Right? But apparently these kids knew who he was. He comes in, he does Replacement Girl. I'm like, that's kind of dope. Okay, cool.
Great song.
You
yeah.
made it to the final. He was going to be late for our final audition. He had just come back from Vegas. He was on a trip. He writes me this long, I wish I still had this text. He's 4 minutes late. He wrote this before he got there. So when we see the performance of Drake and we see all this other stuff, I have to respect the fact that he treated me like with respect. And I can only deal with a person based on my individual relationship with them, not what everybody else says about these individuals. I don't know Kendrick Lamar like that. I met Drake. I've dealt with Drake. Drake is people. Like, I've been doing this for a long time. You know, for those who don't know, along with the class, you know, I helped sign this little group you might have heard of before.
Wu-Tang.
So, you know, when you talk about the culture,
yeah.
I don't benefit from what they've done. I get paid for speaking engagements talking about, I made more money talking about Wu-Tang than ever being in Wu-Tang or working with them like that. So figuring out how to monetize your life in a way that doesn't compromise who you are and your soul as a person, you live through what you love. That's what I do. And so to have done these things and have these, like my mother tried to diss me once. I'll leave it at this and we'll end it. I think after my 35th birthday, I went to lunch with my mother. And she goes, you know, you Forrest Gumped your way through life. You've seen the movie Forrest Gump. I'm like, what? I'm only saying this to my mind. I can't say this to my mother.
Right. That's a bar though, still.
But when she said, you know, you utilize basketball.
That's a bar still, straight.
Think about it.
Mom dropped a bar on you though.
That's a hotline. I didn't think about it until when I really thought about it, because I don't think about my life in that moment like that.
Right.
I was just living. She goes, you utilize basketball, hip hop culture, your education to travel the world 100 times over. Remember where you came from. And go back to that neighborhood right now. You're the one who got away. What are you going to do with the gift of getting away from that? Every guy who talks about the hood doesn't want to go back to the hood. That's why they don't live there. But they still talk about it on records. You sound like a sucker.
Right.
Right? There's a reason you want to escape a certain thing. Or you come back to the hood and you build it up. And then some dummy comes and kills you. Nipsey Hussle.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So what if you understand the culture, the culture is about you evolving and growing and then taking it to places they would never have it.
Right.
And then making sure you still control that narrative. So salute to you guys for doing what you're doing. I wish you all the best. I'm looking forward to having you on my podcast so we can talk crazy. The Open Run with Will Strickland for the news, views, and truths that you choose on the NBA and beyond. And I think I appreciate you guys for having me today.
No, you definitely dropped some jewels, man. Appreciate you. Let's keep this going. We'll talk about it another time in regards 100%. To the Diddy parties.
Listen,
no.
I didn't those Diddy parties. I didn't no dealings.
We cannot talk about that. Let's talk privately on film or live. No. The feds are crazy. The feds are dangerous. We don't want to.
Right.
No smoke.
I got you. But once again, Will, thank you.
Appreciate
you know what I mean?
Man.
Appreciate you, man.
Love, man. This was great.
Day. I want to shout out, Javon Quinterly, Kyle Guy, Terrell Terry, and lastly, AJ Griffin. You got some young boys, that, in their 20s, early 20s, late teens, that fulfilled the dream of making it to the pros or getting close to it and then retiring. You know what I'm saying? As a parent, you know what I mean? Everybody's kind of pushing their child or on that journey with their child to get that scholarship, to go pro. You know what I mean? Not knowing, or maybe knowing and maybe not caring, not too sure. But these kids are burning out. You know what I mean? With all those AAU tournaments from grade 4 all the way up to grade 12. You know what I mean? Like, the kids are going through a lot to see some of these players retire. They're quitting because they can't handle it no more, man.
Is that the reason why AJ's retired?
We don't know yet. But in
he
regards
has a video, he put a video out on his Instagram. I think he wants to walk with God. I believe. I'm gonna look at it more in depth, but that's what I was told.
Well, like for Terrell Terry, you know what I mean? Ex-NBA player retires from basketball, age 22, citing mental health. You know what I mean? So it's like,
shouts out to DeMar Darnell DeRozan.
He brought this
and
up,
Kevin
man.
Wesley Love.
Yep, Kevin Love. Yep.
You know, we talk about being tough, and in particular, and I'll speak to what I know. In my community, in my experience, we've been taught boys don't cry.
Right.
We're taught suck it up, buttercup. Right?
Control
it's wrong to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because that's not what men do.
Right.
But that's a falsehood. And that these high-level athletes are coming out and saying, yo, I'm having a hard time today. It's okay to say you're not okay. It's okay to say that. And when these young people, and I hope what they're dealing with, and again, if you want to talk about hip-hop and hoops, we talk about mental health songs and rap all the time, but they don't even know it. So when you listen to the message, what is the hook of the message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five? Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Right. Think about what he's talking about. My mind's playing tricks on me. The Ghetto Boys. Like, again, these are mental health songs, but we don't want to address it because of the way we've been conditioned. Right. Now our conditioning has been conditioned to where we have to be hyper masculine to the degree that death is a part of our culture.
Mhm.
That's sad.
It is.
And we're doing it to ourselves. So when these young men are going through whatever they're going through,
Yeah.
let's support them. Let's not say that they quit. They just chose a different path. And it's true when you talk about how many AAU games these kids are playing.
Right.
There's a reason why a bunch of these first round draft picks, number one picks,
I'm burning out.
missed their
man.
freshman or missed their rookie years in the NBA. Ben Simmons,
Right.
Joel Embiid,
Right.
like Blake
Chet.
Griffin. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Because of all the games they played to make sure their parents or their parents' friends get an NCAA job.
Right.
It's all a business. These kids become businesses now, NILs, all this stuff.
Right.
Mikey
I was just gonna
Williams
mention that. Yup.
had 1 million followers, had a Puma deal, was about to go to jail,
Right.
right? When you get caught up in that life, you forget about why you're doing this thing in the first place. So I salute these young people
Salute
for
them.
taking control of their narratives and say, hey, wait, let me put a stop button on this.
Right.
I wish we'd had an opportunity to speak to DeMar when he was here with his book, Above the Noise. And, shout out to Michael Landsberg from the TSN.
That's an OG right there.
Landsberg was a guy who talked about, I think what did he say? Not weak, hurt or something like that. I can't remember his phrase, but, talk about his mental health issues. As a guy, you see him on TV, you don't think, we see the facade, we see the entertainment part of it.
Right.
We don't see what happens behind the scenes
Right.
sometimes. And people say, well, you have money, you have this, you have that. It doesn't buy you happiness, it doesn't buy you
No.
joy. Because when you have to provide for an entire family and people who are not even your family who are saying, well, you got all this, you should be able to give to me. Well, yeah, I did the work to get there.
Facts.
If you don't do that, then you're nothing to them. You didn't do anything. And then they're coming to get you. And it's your hustle. So again, what is the culture? Is our culture based on death and violence and
Material.
misery,
Right.
right? And material stuff. I mean, when you're not given anything good to shine on inside, you shine outside sometimes.
Right.
And some people overdo it.
Gotta find that balance.
You got to. So
Yeah.
I wish the best to those young
Yeah,
people.
man. And parents just continue and coaches continue to talk to your kids and your young players on their journey, man. Just make sure their mind's right, man,
Mhm.
and their body's right. You know what I mean? And yeah, continue to support, man. This was a great episode. Follow us on all social media platforms, on X, on YouTube. Hit that notification button, man. Continue to follow. Continue to follow us on our journey. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, Paddle League. Appreciate y'all, distant cousins, all day, every day, man. We out.
Let's get it, man.